Hello, I welcome you back to the concluding part of this episode with Cynthia. You know it has been packed. Now we'll have time to let some of the different words that Cynthia has given to us to simmer. So we're going to continue. Cynthia, please welcome back.
Thank you.
I hope you're going to take it easy on us now. Oh boy, the first part was heavily laden.
Yes, no, we need to say these things. There are things we don't see, or not everyone has these eyes from the inside. So we need to hear it and paint this reality of what Finland is, so that when you're packing that bag, if I'm moving here because it wasn't easy, it may not be easy where I'm going either. I just need grace.
Grace.
You just need grace.
Wow. It has been a very packed one. Your experience has been very different. And where you even got me was the part that you had to do a full academic studies in Swedish language. And not only did you get to do that full time, you also had a full-time job in the process. You had to be a full-time mother. In the same time, you had to be a full-time worker. You had to be a full-time wife, and you had to be a full-time studies. And you studied full-time in a language that you were introduced to in your adulthood. Tell me, how were you able to juggle all of this as an immigrant in Finland?
Well, I think the stories we tell are not complete without those ghosts that are keeping us up and afloat. Well, of course, my husband has been very instrumental. We always talk how behind every successful man is a woman. But even behind the women that are, trying, there's that strong man who understands that he has a strong woman and it's what she needs to be. So, he lets her shine when it's her time to shine. So he did quite a lot of babysitting because I had to do my assignments, of course. I had to do my work, and I also made sure that, yes, I still did my other works also. And he also travels in work. So when we talk of this quietness of Finns and this, like they keep to themselves. This is why I hold a different opinion. Because when I knew that I had an exam, my husband was away. I was able to call the mothers in Capero there where we are living.
Okay.
Someone who is a kid in the same class.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, tomorrow I'll be running late. Is it okay? Can you take my daughter? They took my daughter, they fed her, she played. And when we talk of these cultures, we are thinking that, if a Finn invites you for coffee, it's like doctor's appointment, pa. They're very flexible. So, I feel I've had a very good support system here in Finland. So even when I've shined, someone has been, polishing the diamond so that it shines brighter. In work, like I said, I worked with things that I did. So, I also had support from my colleagues and my boss. I remember when I went to present my thesis, my colleagues followed.
Your colleagues from work.
I remember my thesis. I think was it 4 or 5 colleagues of mine. We walked from Novia to Obo Academy there.
Okay.
And they sat quietly with First, they asked me, I looked busy, like, oh, so where are you going? Oh, I'm going to present my master thesis. Oh, you didn't say. We are coming. It wasn't even a matter of can we come.
Okay.
So, it's always, and this knowing that you have the support. And I think it's also, having this foresight of what you really want, not just limiting to the now.
Yeah.
And you combine it with understanding the systems, because in Finland, also having too many papers can be a problem.
What?
Let's say you have a bachelor's degree, you have no experience. You get another master's, you have no work experience. You take another one, you have now become expensive without the experience. So, it's good when you're already inside, when you're working, then you're putting, because now it's coming, you know,
Yeah. So the degree is without experience or work.
it's not good enough. So the moment you start to pile them up, then because they have to pay according to the qualifications. You have the qualifications, but they are not a charitable organization, it's a business.
Wow.
So now you would say, like, oh, they picked a student over me who is just graduating. Yes, they are cheaper to start with. And, because when you're training people, you are now putting more resources to that.
Yeah.
Because when you're supervising a student, you're doing what the student should be doing. And what you're doing has come to a standstill. So now you have 3 people on one job,
Yes.
which otherwise would be different. So now if you're going in, and that's why if you have seen, it's almost like first, second year student gets a job. The following year they'll get in the same place. They're getting cheaper for the company.
Wow.
The pay may be the same. So when you say you're getting cheaper, it's not like they are paying you less.
Yeah.
No, but they are now getting more from you.
Yes. Instead of getting somebody with, for instance, double masters or even a PhD.
With no work experience that they have to put a resource to bring to that standard.
Hmm. So you mentioned that you had a very good support system.
Yes, I've had a very good support system.
Your husband, family, neighbors around, even the ones that have kids in same daycare or probably your
Yes.
school. So it has been quite a difference. And then being able to live in those two worlds, you have been able to swim well, between the two worlds. Nonetheless, this question I'm going to ask now is to find out the other world, the Zambian part of you. Do your community feel they have lost you to the Finnish side?
Uh, I hope not. Because here in Vaasa, we are not that many. So we even have what we call Shima days. Shima is our staple food.
Okay.
So we have like bring a dish. So
Okay.
if I'm hosting, I'm the one cooking that ugali, the shima,
Okay.
and
Okay.
a dish. You're also bringing something from your kitchen, and we are coming to eat together. Because I keep saying, I've listened to my husband. Those are my people, whether I agree with everything they do or not. And no matter how long I'll stay in Finland, always when someone meets me, they'll ask, where do you come from? And they don't mean from Carpero, because if I say I've come from Carpero, the question will still come, where do you come from?
Yes.
They want to hear like where my umbilical cord is buried.
Yes.
And I think I've really, I've really enjoyed being in Finland. And now in my work, I even get to travel to Zambia. So I'm
Oh,
I'm very much Zambian.
wait. Now you travel from Finland to Zambia
For work.
for work as a Finnish employee
Yes.
who goes to Zambia. How do the Zambians you meet in Zambia, seeing you now representing your Finnish company, how do they feel when they get in contact with you?
Well, there's one vice chancellor from one of our partner universities. The first time when I was there, and they said, "Oh, we have a visitor from Finland." So when I showed up, she was like, "Aha, I was expecting a different person, but it's good. Now we can speak in our language, like we can." He was a very jovial man.
Okay.
So, we joked about this and laughed. So you can see that, yes, there is also pride
In their own.
from them. But it has also meant that, I'm able to prepare them for this world. Because, the work cultures to start with, they are totally different. Back home, like in Nigeria, we love the titles.
Yes.
You have earned your doctorate. Everyone should know
I'm doctor.
you're doc. No one should call you Steve. You remind them.
That's true. That's true.
And then there are the Finns. A whole entire professor will say, "Oh, I'm Steve."
No titles.
No titles. And when I first started working with them, I had a bachelor's degree. And it was a team of doctors. I did say to them, "You are doctors. I have a bachelor's degree. I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but if we start these collaborations, I will be your boss. So, like your supervisor, I'll be the coordinator, I'll be the main one. You have to report to me." And I told them that, Finns don't look at titles not to disrespect people's achievements, but to break down those barriers, those labels. Because the moment someone calls you doc, and then they tell you, "Oh, this one just have like birth certificate," how you're going to interact will be different. But experience is something that is not overlooked, especially in Finland. So it comes back to experience. Those that are in the health services will tell you they have this practical nurse registered nurse moving like that.
Yes.
You'll find that someone who is a practical nurse has worked for 20 years will still earn higher than a registered nurse who is just starting. Because with the experience they have accumulated, it's appreciated.
Wow.
So, it's those things. And when we started working, and, after some time, they said that, well, I told them that, well, to start with, don't work with me, work with the institution I represent, because I'm the weakest link.
Yes.
I'm your strongest link and I'm the weakest link. I'm a human being. I can be fired, something can happen, I can live on my own. But if you have collaboration, institution to institution, you won't even need me in the picture.
True.
And with time, we started that trust developed, but also, I worked on as, this cultural, trying to create this cultural neutral environment.
Yeah.
So that these ones, they understand that, okay, someone not calling me a dog is not being disrespectful.
Yeah.
And this one is not shocked when they prof. And before they realize, oh, it's me he's talking to. Those things. So it's we can't take away from who we are. We are because we have been. And to be here today, everything from the day I entered this earth had to be exactly as it It has been.
Is there any kind of decision that you had to take that if you had the opportunity to go back now, you would make a different one?
Well, that one is a bit difficult to say. I know that if I had all my five senses in place when I was moving, probably I wouldn't have moved.
I didn't see that one coming.
Like I was more being ruled by the heart. I was more in love and everything was okay. And it happens in different situations,
True.
even back home. Someone will say, help me to get there. I need to be there at all costs. Now, when the getting there has happened at all costs, reality sets in. And I think for me, coming to Finland, what I would change the most, probably speak the Finnish more.
Okay.
More boldly, because it's there in the head. I understand, I read, I speak when caught unaware. When someone sneaks up to me in Finnish, I just dive in.
Okay.
Same with the Swedish, like with my husband, we still speak English. Even after all these years, with his dad, I'll turn to his dad and speak Swedish and turn to him and speak English. So I admire the people that, are bold enough to massacre this language, slay it into pieces and still confidently wait for a response. So, that boldness. And I think it's also like when you're moving to a place, you need to start preparing for the possibilities. Of course, when you're coming, you're like, oh, I'm moving to Finland, I'm going to live there. Obviously, when you get here 2-3 years, you start to feel something, to fly, stay off or fly out.
Yeah.
And you should prepare yourself for both eventualities.
Did you ever get to that point where you felt like flying out or returning back to Zambia?
Well, for me, no, because like I said, I've had someone holding my hand or starting my own family here. And, it's funny, I've gone to Zambia and said, oh, I'm going back home, meaning coming here.
Wow.
So, it was always that. And I think also when I started, like when I moved here, I have a curious mind. So I plotted where the essential things were, like, and how to get there. Like, how do people get to university here? Is it just to show up? I wasn't, like I said, my soft skills were not so good. And 2010, not everyone was working around with a smartphone where you can Google things. So I paid attention to the things around me. And I said, well, to start with, I have an anchor here. I have someone that's holding me, not in a bad way, in a good way. They're giving me this solid ground to stand on. So I salute you people that both in the couple are from elsewhere. I know it's not easy for you because, here is someone who is a native there.
Yeah.
So they know the ropes around.
Yes.
But also, they also don't know a lot of things, especially around immigration. So, sometimes you'll be asking things. And for me, I used to go in these offices by myself, take bus by myself. I said to him that, I need to feel like I belong here. So I need to do these things so that I'm seeing them, I'm following them, unlike you always holding my hand.
You made mention of just now, and then it struck me. You made mention of people who live in Finland who are couples, who are foreigners, who are not natives, and how their world might be different from yours because you had somebody who's native who could, for instance,
like my GPS.
Yes, like your GP who prepared you. I would like you to just say something. I don't know what it is, if it is a motivation or inspiration. I would just want you to amplify it in your own way. Certain things that word is like that you have maybe presumption, just whatever you can say. I don't know why.
Well, I
What do you think would be the difference if, for instance, you had a Zambian husband in Finland?
well, I think the differences also start from, I don't want to call it opportunities, but I would like to call it possibilities. To start with, let's say for you and your wife, you both have to constantly fight, look for a job and
Yes.
all that. When I moved here, my husband already had a couple of years working. He had acquired an apartment. So, he was already in that level where he was beginning to have these stable geographical coordinates.
Yes.
But if we were both foreigners, obviously one had to go where the other was going with the highest possibility of survival. So, like the decision would be a bit more liquidy. Like for me, already 2 years in, I decided whatever I'm gonna do, I'll do it in Vaasa.
Yeah.
I had a starting point in Vaasa.
Yes. Yes.
So I decided whatever I'm going to do, I did my bachelor's in Vaasa, I did my master's in Vaasa. But I've proven myself wrong because I'm going to do my PhD in Oulu.
Are you doing the PhD in English?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I think it's the same. No, it's in English.
Okay.
It's more like the writing, because even the masters, they did let me write my master thesis in English.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
the language of instruction was Swedish, and
Yeah,
it can be a lot. I know, having to learn, study for UK test to write. I in Finnish. I know. I know.
exact your blood.
I know. And then you doing a full-fledged academic course in Swedish, wrote multiple exams in Swedish language just to get an entry.
Yes, and
It can be a lot.
yes, it can be a lot, but I guess it's also, now I don't know if we can go into this, but now we are in this crossroads in this moment where it's so much talk of internationalization. It's happening globally, like even in Finland, the tide has come in, like where the companies want more to be more seen as more international and all that. So now there is that conflict. When you're in a certain place, there are people who are thinking, oh, she has made it this far because she's an international. But when you tell your story of how far you have taken to get there, you're like, this me being international is just the cherry on the cake. The most important is you have you have an engineer here.
Yes.
And if you want to spice it up, say you have a female engineer. And then if everything, you're like, okay, fine, she's an international. But you shouldn't start seeing it from,
Do they do that to remove credits?
well, it's same way it goes on the other side also with the fellow internationals. I'm married to a Finn, so they'll think, oh, she has walked this far because she's a Finn. But in my work circle, that's a part of, those parts in the village, how they start in the grass. Yes, I've started my own path. It has no connection to my husband. My husband doesn't know the people in my work circle. It's a journey I've had to take on my own. So it's these two worlds where the internationals are thinking, oh, she made it this far because she's a Finn. I say, well, This one who is with a Finn had to write 7 Swedish exams just to study a master's.
Wow. The Finnish part is pulling you. The Zambian part is pulling you. The international part is pulling you. And then there is this Finnish part that comes to you at gunpoint. How much skin do you have for yourself?
Well, I think, we are all born for certain things. And I think for me, I mentioned that I grew up in Botswana. So I have 6 brothers, 1 sister. So, I've been a minority all my life. And that has thickened my skin. I'm used to being in the minority. And like I pointed out, there is nothing wrong with it. If anything, it's a blessing in disguise because you're more visible than the international, the majority. So, we always see this thing of being minority as a bad thing. No, it's not always.
You didn't just get in to enjoy the comfort that the Finnish man could give to you. You didn't just get in to see his world. You saw all of it and made a decision to put in your own skin in the game to make your own part. Do you think, or what is your general opinion about others who might have walked the same path that you did, but are having different results? What can you say about those?
Well, I think it goes back to that 4%. If the path has been the same, it comes back to that 4%, right place, right time, right preparation, and right person, or in one point, meeting at one point. And I always say, when I've come this far, I know there are people that have worked harder than me, and they're still not there. So, it's because my 4% has come earlier than their 4%. So it's not like when you're there, you have done everything right. It's just that your 4% aligned sooner than them, but that 4% needs to align. The hard work is all it's all down there. But the deciding factor, because a lot work hard, but think of it, probably in your student days, when you were studying, your instinct was also to survive.
Yes.
Your stomach wouldn't let you sleep.
So true.
Your stomach wouldn't let you. And then because we are also African, back home, they knew, Steve is in Finland, is in the land of milk and honey. And they also demanded things from you. So, it's like your energy has been directed on different things. And that's why I say that, well, Finland has been kind to me, and I'm grateful for that. But I've also taken what it has handed out with gratefulness and say, this is what I give you back. And it's for me being, taking my share of responsibilities. And
do your families visit you here in Finland?
Well, unfortunately, no one has made it here yet. It's always one story after. Every time we had this close.
Yes, but since you go home intermittently, you get to see them.
Yes. Like last year, I got to go home 3 times.
Wow.
Or paid for in work. So I flew 3 times. When I came back, I hid my passport. That would change something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We've paid attention to your story. We have heard you talk about the certain steps that you took. that has driven you thus far. There was a salient part that you mentioned. I didn't get to amplify it because you were giving it to me back to back. You mentioned that your husband had time. He was the one behind the scene polishing the diamond. There are a few who have also had such intentional people in their lives. But in your own case, you had a man who was realistic, who was upfront, who was intentional with you. As a form of advice, what would you tell your younger self or young ladies who are from African descent who are meeting young, intentional, maybe Finnish men or Europeans?
Yeah.
What would you say to them so that maybe they can get the same result you got or even better?
Yeah.
What has this journey taught you that you can let them know?
Well, I think the first one is not to expect from someone more than you can give yourself. You can't ask for a house from someone if you cannot buy yourself a house. But, the challenge that comes when we meet these men back home, for instance, like when they're out working, they have all these allowances, they have these posh lives that we want because the company is paying for a lot of things. So they don't have bills there. The car, it's some driver going to refuel and they're in these Land Cruisers,
Yes.
they're really looking like, yes, this is my ticket way out to paradise. And then when they come back here, they are ordinary people. And I think also to think of this currency, because I know in Zambia what 2,000 euro can do in Zambia are miracles. If you give someone 2,000 euro in Zambia like this, you probably, they will even probably give you their ticket to heaven. You can have it.
Wow.
Like, it's a lot of money.
Yes.
It can do things. But when you come to Finland, so now you can imagine you have been living with your man there in Africa, and then you move back home. Now he needs to pay rent, or if he has bought the house, the buying of houses in Finland is not the same as back home.
No.
Back home, if someone says, this is my house, it's their house, it's paid for. Here, it's a loan.
True.
But the system doesn't kill its people with loans. It takes slowly by slowly so that they can still breathe and live reasonably.
Yes.
So now there's that loan, there's the car, the insurance and all that. And also, back home, there are certain things, especially if you don't come from a well-to-do family. You'll be like, it's okay. Back home, we even used to sleep on the floor. I can sleep on the floor. No, respect the culture. So it's this respect for the world that you are stepping in, understanding that it's different from the world where you come from. And also when it comes to communication, because with my husband, we speak English, but I still say, still doesn't know English because, there are certain things I can't give hints in English. You miss them completely. So,
Wow. Yeah.
so
The cues.
yeah, you won't see them. So you'll be like, it's their world, it's their way of interpreting. For the Africans, I say we are born with this richness in social life because we have the numbers. We interact with so many different people, so we get this training that we don't even pay attention to. The social skills.
Yes.
We can read moods easily, you cannot like, I'm not wanted here. We can give hints here, that, okay, this is a signal. Our friends don't have those kind of big social circles to. So when you communicate, you have to be intentional in your communication. You need to say what you mean and mean what you're saying. So
Wow.
if you start we speak idioms, parables back home, and you understand.
Yes. And sometimes they don't.
They don't. So you have to say it as it is, and life here is just as normal as back home. If anything, I think the life back home is even a bit exaggerated because of the kind of societies we look at people according to accomplishments
Yes.
or what they have. But and people, even friendships change as you move along.
Yes.
Now when you have higher position in the bank, you've met new friends in the banks.
True.
The Finns still have friends from daycare. So, when there's someone like, oh, I've known this one for 30 years. Oh, how old are you again? Oh, I'm 32.
True.
So these human relations, it's very, very important. It's what will get you places. And to human relations, we don't mean the boat leaking. Like
Yeah.
trying to be who you
are
are
not.
not just to get things, because you get tired.
Of being fake.
You get tired of being fake. Life is about consistency and intention. So you have to. People will read the energies. They wanna, let's see how long. And sometimes you say, oh, I'm fooling them, but they are letting you walk yourself in the trap.
Wow.
You're just there willingly going to sacrifice yourself confidently.
Not even with you thinking you are deceiving them.
Yes, you're
Wow.
thinking you're deceiving them.
Thank you. Thank you for this insight.
Yeah.
Because it prepares a lot. One thing with lived experience, somebody said that there are different ways to get knowledge.
Yeah.
You either get the knowledge by living it, or you pay attention to the lived experiences that others have had before you.
That's true.
And this is one way to let people know too that it's not all plug and play. There are certain things you need to do for yourself, by yourself, to get the supposed results that you are hoping out of your migration.
Yes, and also like you probably think, we say, with the white people, the Finns, there is no culture. There is no society that has no culture. Just because a culture is considered in certain aspects weaker than yours, it doesn't mean there is no culture. And culture is what gets us to places, understanding the culture. Same if I go to Nigeria, be with the Yoruba people, or I have to learn their ways.
Yes.
Of course, as Africans, we are used to learning other people's ways. So when we go out there, why don't we want to learn? Why do you now want them to meet you? You came to my home. If you find that, okay, here I only eat vegetables, you're not going to start crying that she only feeds me vegetables. No, she's not feeding you vegetables. She eats vegetables and you're eating with her. She's not feeding you. That's different. To eat with someone and to be fed are two different things. So if I'm feeding you vegetables, it means I'm secretly eating the meat alone.
Yes.
But I eat the meat and you're eating with me the vegetables. So it's this way of looking.
Paying attention to the small things.
Yes, and my mom always says, pay attention to how people joke with you. So you learn to live with people. You learn to pay attention when people are speaking. You're like, oh, this is the mistake I made this time. And even arguments in marriages, it's not like the first time you make a mistake, someone will shout at you. They'll just say, oh, why did you do this like this? Especially for us in these intercultural marriages.
Yeah.
You're like, also, why have you done this? Because probably to your friend, it's a normal thing. So you start with the why have you done this? So when they explain, you're like, okay. But where I come from, this means this.
Mm.
So, it's,
The cultural interplays.
yes, so you need to learn to interpret that culture, whether you see it or not, a culture is always there.
And in fact, we expecting them to give us what we are used to actually steals away from us the view of their own world
Yes.
because they cannot give you what they are not used to or
No?
what is not in their culture. Wow. And this was why your husband told you to sit at the back of the bus.
Yes, so that you see.
Shit, man.
So that you see, it's not about you. Just take a deep breath. I always say this, that people have been racially profiled. It's there, but it's not always. And I also think that it's a series of things, especially on the job market. They didn't want the job. You also want the job. And when you come neck to neck, you pick the familiar, now you go for safety. So your intention should win the game before it goes into penalties. You win the game whilst in those 90 minutes of the game. By the time it's final whistle, it's your game. Then there's no argument, because when you start to get to like, okay, now it's penalties, just no, game over, just hand over the trophy and walk away. And it's like I said, for me, I really struggled to get a job back home. Like, I worked as freelance. Luckily, I'm an electrician. I work with hands. My father was also an electrician. A girl, a young lady, slay queen. I was pulling cables with my father. Cracking, breaking walls
Whoa.
to run the cables with my father. And when I came to Finland, I said, well, let the luck I lacked in Zambia not follow me here.
You left that bad luck over there.
Please leave it there. And it's people that have followed my life. They, they have said, my husband has been like my talisman, like he just came into my life and doors opened. It's like he held the doors, like, to
Open it, yeah.
yeah, and he just felt like he was that one standing there. And so in all the things we do, things are aligned and they are very much connected to people. So for me, I don't take human relations lightly. I value friendship. I try to be honest in dealing with my people, but if you gossip about me, I also gossip back instead of going away. I'll just gossip back so that we fight and we continue with it, especially in this dark Finland.
Yes.
Just fight with the Nigerians, and tomorrow, come, we eat jollof rice.
It's on it when again you just like I told you in the first part that there were so many things you said that I couldn't amplify because you had a part, you had your words arranged, and these things take time to simmer. You just mentioned something that most of us take very common, and we diminish its importance at the expense of good goals, the human relation in this dark Finland. Finland can be very, very boring, lonely, and you can be all by yourself.
Yes.
But I do not understand why people leave the table just because, like you said, gossip or quarrel or even fight. Now, going back, I'm thinking now of my own experiences too. I can relate to a few people who I've had disagreements with. Maybe not really me, but I became like a resultant
Yeah.
to that disagreement. And you realize that these people completely disconnected. Some of them are people I sat down with, people I ate with, people I visited their homes, people I celebrated when they won, they celebrated when I had my wins. Like life intertwined for many years.
Yes.
And then one small error or mistake or disagreement that could be handled maturely, they let it deplete all of the good things.
Yes. We have a saying in my language that, there's a certain, I don't know English, it's a fruit, a wild fruit. It's called masuku.
Masuku, okay?
Yeah. So they say like, umusuku ubi ona ulempanga, like a bad fruit from that tree spoils for the whole forest. So, when you have picked, you're like, in that forest, it's bad masuku there. But you only picked one. You only, out of the forest of those,
Yes.
you only picked
One.
one. And also coming to this, we are also ambassadors for our countries.
Yes.
If the first Zambian you interact with rubs you the wrong way, wherever you go, it's, Zambians, those people. But you have only met one, only one. And they spoil it for
For the rest.
So it's things like that, and when I'm talking about like if someone gossip, you gossip back and all that. It's also like that being humble enough to accept when you are wrong and say, Stephen, I'm really sorry. I know I hurt your feelings.
Yes.
Not to say, yeah, but you also, that's not apology. Apologies don't come with but.
Apologies don't come with bites.
With but,
Okay, but.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I know I hurt your feelings, but you also no. If you feel you hurt my feelings, it should come from you to say, I'm also sorry I went.
Not, but you also.
Yes, it's for me to justify why I did. If you said to me that no, but you hurt my feelings when you did this, I have to acknowledge that and accept your way of interpreting
And
things.
then we move on. We don't throw away the history.
Yes, so I don't say like, yeah, but you also last time no, the last time I hurt your feelings, I should have told you,
True.
You should have said the last time I hurt your feelings. You should have told me. You shouldn't wait for when you have hurt my feelings and I tell you, then you say I'm sorry, but even you last time, can you get out with your apology?
I have. This is something I have tried to imbibe. I don't throw away the 90% just because the 10%
Yes.
interaction I had with you didn't go like the remainder 90%.
Yeah.
I always believe that if the 10% comes, we fix it.
Yes.
And we fix it knowing that we have 90%.
Yeah.
Not focus on the 10% while we let the 90% go to waste.
Yeah, and also this thing, it's okay not to like people. It's very okay to feel a certain way, but don't burn bridges. This place is so far away from home. For me, I'm someone who have lost my dad living here. I have a Finnish husband. I had someone, but my Zambian friends just came home. They went in the kitchen cooking. We are talking. Let's eat. They don't ask. They don't even ask if I'm hungry.
Yes.
Because they understand that in this moment she's numb.
Yes.
And the Finns, they comfort in a different way. The friends who come, they'll bring their flowers, we'll talk, they'll go back. So, it's also, this is why my husband emphasized stay connected to your people. These are the people that understand you the most. Because you come where they come from. You are more connected than you think yourself.
Wow.
So it's in those moments when you're celebrating, when you're crying, when then you see that. Imagine winning everything. You're scoring highs, and you're just here with your coffee. Today I graduated my master's, Stephen, well done. But when you're telling, you my brother, let's go have a drink, it's, you also feel like, I did something, someone is happy for my achievement, for my hard work. So we cannot take people out of the equation. We cannot. And each and every person we meet is important.
Being in those two worlds, do you think it comes with double blessing for you?
Yes, I have to say it comes with double blessings. For instance, Finnish people, yes, I've also learned to embrace silence. Sometimes, they are not angry. Like, sometimes I'll go walking with my husband. He's in his world, I'm in his world. We are working together and we are very much together. So you learn to get comfortable with silence. Something that I notice now when I move between Zambia and Finland so much. When we are in these work meetings, you can see our African colleagues, they want to fill up that silence. The Finns are okay with the silence. It's not a bad silence, it's that silence of peace. We have not fought, you are not angry, but you need to breathe. You need to, process the things and process. And I think it also takes time. I mean, if you are angry, if you speak back to back, you'll say a lot of unprintables and and things that you never take back.
My people, in our native language, we say this. Na okwu ngwa ngwa ada ama mgbe ọ na-ekwu nke na-emebi ihe. It translates in English as a person who speaks too hastily do not always know when he says the ones that overreaches.
Yeah, yes, it's like that. So it's, you learn to juggle the two worlds. And you see, sometimes also our world, the Finnish world, it's more silent, more calm. Our world, we don't know therapists.
No.
We don't know psychiatrists. No. Because, we are so bad. So which one is your own now? Why are you like this? Like so. Here, you have to explain to a doctor that you're suffering from.
Yeah.
We don't.
No.
So, both worlds, and you just need to find that balance. I was born in October, so I have this scale as my birth sign. So I like, somehow, I don't believe so much in astrology, but I always lean towards balance. I like the balance.
October, are you a Scorpio?
A Libra.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a good one.
So, it's to learn, not to, you push the limits in the beginning, and you learn the limits, because, undercurrents can be felt.
Yeah.
So you know that, okay, I've crossed the line. And also in the beginning, like, at least for me, how I saw it, like the Finns around me, they embraced everything I brought. And if I was not careful, I was probably going to try to overtake and overhaul. But they listened, they let me give, so that they can see me as one of them. So they let me open to them, and so it's also time to know when to stop and open and let them in. Because if you talk all the time, talk, you won't listen, you won't learn anything. So it's this
importance to give it a balance.
Yes, and that's where the Finnish silence comes in.
Yeah, and embracing that silence is a skill.
Yes,
You
because
know?
we are not bothered. Like sometimes if you come in our home, it's so quiet. If you just abruptly open, you're like, "Is anybody here?" And all of us are there. So it feels very normal. And when I get to Zambia, sometimes I get tired from. Oh, people are happy to see. And you're like, okay, now this has been going on for 1 hour. When are they going to calm down?
Yeah.
You start.
So that there will be that silence.
Yeah, just that moment. And when 2022, I went home. It was my brother's wedding.
Okay.
And, we had rented an apartment. It was probably the first time we were again all together siblings, no husbands, no kids, no wives, just us, our mothers and fathers' children.
Yeah.
So, that drama, that memory, and all that. And they used to laugh because we would be laughing. And it has been going on from morning. And then after some time, I'm like, I'm going to my room. I'm not angry. I'm not mad at anyone. But I just need just a few moments. If you see me online, you can chat with me online if you want. I'm not going to sleep. I'm just going to lie down to calm down.
Simmer.
And they'll joke like, oh, she's going into the Finlay moment.
The what?
Finlay.
Moment.
Yeah,
Okay.
Finlay moment. They had this slang for a Finnish.
Yeah.
Finlay moment. She's going in the Finlay moment. And my elder brother said that, I think it's really good. We are all learning. Like when the Finn goes away, let's all try to be quiet. And they said the first time they were quiet, they wanted to hear what I was doing.
Oh.
But then also in that moment, they're like, oh, we are quiet. We have not fought with anyone. There's nothing wrong with silence. And that is the interpretation where we say, oh, the Finns keep to themselves.
Yes.
No, they embrace that peaceful silence. And it's not the same as keeping to yourself. It's okay to ask for 2 minutes for yourself.
Wow.
I'm sure it will be the same when you're in Nigeria. Everyone, and after 3 days, you're like, okay, now I need to go and book a hotel and sleep there.
And have peace.
And have peace and then come back. So it rubs on.
After a while,
Yeah.
it begins to sit in.
It rubs on and it's addictive.
I know. Peace, quietness, tranquility. These are certain things you embrace in living in Finland. And that is, again, like you said it, if you pay attention to the small details that are around you and not try to overplay your hand by wanting to be everywhere or make it about yourself, Wow. Sincerely speaking, it has been a packed episode, but I'm not going to let you go yet. I made up some questions, but in the way you have told your stories, some of the questions are already answered. Now I don't know what I'm even going to ask. Now I don't know what I'm going to ask. But your story is a different one. Very different.
I told you in the beginning, my Finland is not your Finland.
Sincerely speaking, it's completely different. It's different. So what I'm going to do now, you have told us who Cynthia was before Finland. You've told us how you went about your daily activities. You've enumerated things you had to do to prepare and make sure that your 4% aligns with the 4 things that you needed to do. Tell us, who is Cynthia today?
Well, I think it's an interesting question because I've asked actually myself that. Like I've tried to think, I'm more soft than I look. Like Finland has softened me because, I have two homes, and the heart does not stop too long for both. Because when I go to Zambia, I miss here. And when I'm here, I miss that same laughter, with my siblings. So I think now as a person, Finland has taught me to be more compassionate because I I see people that work so hard and they don't get to where they envision. And I say that the inspiration we seek is never far off. When I moved to Finland, like when I just came, then it wasn't many Africans around, and like we were really few. Everyone you met in the market square, you had to stop. Where do you come from? How are you? How did you get here? Like that rush. There is one Zambian, all the Zambians I met here came with the Finnish men. So they have had that privilege to have someone to hold your hand from day one. But we have one exception. She came as a student, and her story was completely different. That was the time when they needed money in account, 6,000 and all that. And she struggled. She struggled. She fought. She cleaned. She made hair. She did things. I said to myself, Cynthia, if you want at least to go to school and get papers, you are a fool. Because all you need to do with your status right now is just to apply for school. I didn't need the 6,000 others needed. I already had the immunity, you know.
Right.
I was married to a Finn.
Yes.
I was already being considered for the same privileges as their other Finns. And I said, if someone says who inspires you and you say, oh, Oprah Winfrey, what are you doing? Why does Oprah inspire you? When you see that woman, the ones that sell, I don't know if you have them in Nigeria.
We do.
They are going door to door selling vegetables early in the morning with a small baby on the back. If that one has that zeal, that drive to get up, to fight, it would be raining. It's small, like you're picking the baby there. It would be like, oh, how old is the baby? Oh, he just turned 2 months. But they need to feed the family. They get out. Our own ordinary mothers that have produced engineers, doctors, teachers, those are the inspiration. So I always say the inspiration you seek is never far off. It's in these ordinary people that are doing extraordinary things. And it's not only saying that, oh, like the lady that sells vegetable. Obviously, for a university student, you're like, oh, how is this inspirational? It's that spirit to do honest work. Because that is what life is about. It's all about honest in dealing with people, doing things for people and all that. It all comes with honest. Because if I'm not honest, obviously I think everybody is not honest. So I'll be shady even in my dealings.
True.
So, it's those things that I've come to learn to appreciate honest people that are really fighting, even when you're like, okay, so when is this person going to give up and see this? This is not working. But, to them, they have that drive that maybe tomorrow is a better day. That maybe those people that are driven by maybe tomorrow is a better day. I have so much respect. I see them now because, growing up in Zambia, I came from like middle high class. My
Yeah.
father was doing so well. There are times when my father was going for parties with presidents in Botswana, from that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
To time of relocating, he only has a house, he doesn't have a job, and he has to start crawling back up the system. So, I've had this chance, even from a young age, to see this transition of how people interact, of how people see you. And I've learned, like, yes, my father could have gone very far, but he was too honest for an African man. You know, he was too straightforward.
Yeah.
And it's okay, because I'm sure he died a proud death. He knows he lived an honest life. He may not have died a millionaire, but you know, he left us with these survival tools. And as you grow older, I think it's what they say, as you grow older, you go back to, you're getting back to your childhood.
Yes. To relive the memories.
Yeah, in a way. And you start to see these soft values, you know, in life, not to be fooled by the flashes of someone coming with a car that requires a ladder to get in, you know, someone, if it's in Africa, black table, you know, to show that, yeah, they are happening. No, this simple, a cup of tea like this, talking human to human, because before we are forced to talk to those robots, you know, they're already doing our shopping.
Yeah.
So, you
They're
know,
bringing the groceries home.
before we are reduced to say, how are you, robot? Has it been a long journey for you? You know, we need to appreciate. And Finland, in those silent moments, I've come to learn the importance of human relations. They're not to be overlooked. It's everything. If anything, if that's what DNA is made of, then it's the basis of life. We are social beings. In my language, we say "Ichalo Bantu." It's people that make worlds.
It's people
That-
that make worlds. Okay?
Yeah, so it's not a world when there are no people in it.
Very true.
So, you know, all this life of Stephen in Vaasa, it's a lot of human stories around.
Yes.
So, you know, it's what is softening your heart, hardening your heart, and all those things. It's all influenced by humans. But at the end of the day, it's knowing what matters the most. You won't lose anything by being kind to someone. And when someone tells your story, their story, it's not your job to start subtracting. Like, so why didn't you do this? You know, no, this is not like this. Like we have just shared here.
Yes.
My Finland is very different from your Finland.
True.
This same Finland where we have both been using euros, very different.
Yes. Yes.
So it's those things, understanding that, yeah, because even like others that have had married to Finns, because of the people they have interacted, maybe they didn't have the same support system. So even when they've been married to Finns, the first thing instinct has been survival, money-wise. So they don't have the time to chase a dream. They have to, you know, they need to save something. The master, the stomach, they need to stay alive. So it's, no one is self-made. People talk about, self-made. No one is self-made. No one.
There are people polishing the diamonds.
There are people you see like, oh, she's shining bright. Somebody has been polishing that diamond. Even those people that say, oh, I educated myself. You can be educated, but for you to get that job, that 4% needed to align. Someone had to polish and say, okay, this rough cut diamond, it's this precious one.
You go, I stay home with the kid.
Yes.
You go, I'll take care of the house.
Yes.
You go, I'm going to hold this for you. So these interactions matter.
Yes, they matter. And also, I think it's also creating this trust. Because, you know, like for me, I say that, I'm in energy. I'm found, it's a men's world.
Yes.
It's a men's world. Literally, I'm finding men of all levels in there. But my husband knows that I know he is there. So, he, he expects me to also know it's not him to tell him that, oh, I'm here, do this and this. I should know before I'm leaving my home. I have a good husband.
Yes.
And when I'm out there, those men are no longer men, they are colleagues. So,
You put on the switch.
yeah, I see them as colleagues. Whether they wear a skirt or a suit, it should be the same interaction. Because there was someone who had asked, so how does your husband feel that you're always out there with? I said, well, I'm sure I don't want to say that he's too confident that I can't do anything, like anything to, but we have built a trust. Obviously, in my silent journey towards, being a career woman,
Yeah.
I've won his trust to show that, okay, she knows she has me and she's happy with me. So, it's that confident, and because the grass is always greener on the other side.
So they said.
Yeah, you'll be like, my husband, no, I need now this CEO, I'll get all this, and then you find that CEO is full of problems and you're like, I used to sleep in a grass hut. I should have stayed in that grass thatched house,
Yeah.
So it comes back to these human connections and human values and how you deal with humans. So this, if you're packing your bag from Africa and say, oh, I'm going to Finland, I'll be all alone. This Nigerian community, or they talk too much. It's that Steve that will connect you to someone. You're now in the right place at the right time with the right people. So you'll be like, you just arrived. We have an opening. I've heard of an opening. And in Finland, recommendation is very important. So, that's why how you deal with people, how you market, you should be a walking CV. So it's not just like you can flip flop. You go on internet today, you're insulting on this page, and tomorrow you're in work. No,
You should be a walking
Consist-
CV.
you should be consistent, because the moment they say, okay, we are looking for this, I'm like, oh, I know Steve has done this. When I said to them, oh, I have this person, technically what I've done is put myself on the cross for
For
you.
that person, yes.
Because when they take you, they assume I've brought them a Cynthia.
Wow.
That's the assumption.
Yes.
Okay, Cynthia works like this. So for her to bring this person, he also works like her. And when you go there and you don't perform, I'm crucified here. So everyone like, no, I can't deal with it. No. Because it's like, if these are the kind of people she recommends, obviously there's something we're missing. So, this is why also people are not too quick
To recommend others.
to recommend others. It's not like they don't want to recommend you, like they don't want you to succeed. It's they have to be sure also. So it's a lot at play.
Yes.
And when you really think someone that has come from Nigeria and someone that has come from Kokola, or let's say Vascular or Oulu, coming to Vaasa, they have same chances. They both don't know anyone. They're as lost as each other when it comes to the job market. Because, they need that one person that will see, there's potential here.
Yeah.
And it comes in different ways. It's in networks. Sometimes it's in socializing like this.
Yeah.
You're talking like, oh, this one is like this. And with time consistency, you're like, yeah, this person is really like this. When you're here, like, oh, have you heard of this and this? And and sometimes you find people, they're inside the company, they'll tell you of the opening, Oh, can I put you as my reference? I'm not sure, just put in an application. So,
They remove themselves because
they,
they cannot vouch for you yet.
yes, but they let you know there's an opportunity you get there so that when you mess up, you're on your own.
Mm.
So
It's a lot.
it's a lot that goes on.
You paid attention to the small things. You had a world that was introduced to you, that was revealed to you. Nonetheless, you didn't pick on the small things. You didn't pick on those because we are picky people. We tend to look for what is not there. But the Finland that was introduced to you, you paid attention to what was introduced to you. How were you able to do such?
Well, I think, like I mentioned, I came to the classroom party 10 years older than my classmates. So obviously, and I was working in Zambia. So, I have a different mindset. I saw things differently.
Yes.
And also, like I've said, in Africa, we have these numbers to develop, this social intelligence, like the human mathematics.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're able to learn it really fast. So you're thinking, okay, this is how they do, because like in Finland, most of the time you hear people say that, oh, when you do these assignments, what's important is to pass. What you get a 5 or 1 doesn't matter. But even when you get a 1, how you handle that 1, how you have handled, it will still show who you are. It can see that this one is trying things are hard, and this one, a 5. Okay, let's see. Another, okay, let's see. So, we are also telling, especially as students, and I keep coming back to this 4%, because there are people that have done so much in terms of investing themselves for that 4%. And they only have that 1%, that 3% has not yet aligned.
Yes.
So, and those 4 need to align: the right preparation, the right person, the right time, in the right place. So, they have one thing. Those 3 things are still missing from that. And also now when I'm working with Zambia, I also noticed that, back home people love going to school,
Yeah.
but also it's coming where this appreciation for the foreign papers is coming in the work experience. So now when they're looking at me, they're not looking that I've gone to a Finnish university. Because if I tell you, all our colleagues from Zambia that I'm working with, we have people that have gotten PhDs from Sweden, from Russia, Kazakhstan, from everywhere around the world. So it's no longer that paper from elsewhere. It's that experience that you're coming back, that you're coming back with.
Yes.
Because now the international paper is easy to get.
Yes.
So now what else have you compact in that international paper that you have? So it's being intentional and not looking opportunities, and sometimes you just need to scratch the surface. I don't know if you have sweet potatoes.
We do.
Yeah, sometimes you just and sometimes to get to the sweet potatoes. So it's how fast your 4%
Clicks for you.
clicks for you. So the thing is to be always prepared. And my father was born on an island in Zambia. So like it was an island and everyone there was a fisherman and a farmer.
Yeah.
And my father was lazy for that. But lucky for him, he was born with a strong intellectual muscle.
Okay.
So, he could read, write,
Right.
and all that. And before long, he got like to school outside the island. He saw what was out there.
Yeah.
And he decided the world where I come from is not mine. So I need to make it elsewhere. And the only weapon I have is education. So, and people back home, those that have education glorify it, those that don't have diminish it. But the thing is, when that 4% is happening, you have to have for your world, because that's also what we need to understand. There are people who are made for the black ties,
Yes.
and there are people who are made to pull the sleeves
True.
up. But at the end of the day, know the kind of hustle you're made for, and hustle in that, be it in the classroom or in the mine or in the field or wherever. Just know that, okay, for me, the classroom is not my forte, and it's okay. I'll start a business, it will boom, but I shouldn't laugh at someone with a degree who is not working. Their
true.
time has not come. Their time has not just come, but that is what they are also good at.
Yes.
To be in the class. So, understanding, and the Finns do it so well. You ask a child, what do you want? Oh, I love baking, I'm going to do baking. Can you tell your African parents that you want to do baking? If they don't cut off your head, when will they do it? After paying you in a private school. And then you tell them, I love baking, I think I'll take up baking. They wouldn't listen to you. So, it's also this passion, because now when you see what people can bake, you're like,
Sincerely speaking,
you're like, this is ordinary baking of putting flour and eggs together.
until you get in.
Until you get in.
And then you realize how much work, expertise, and skill set it requires.
Yes, and you'll be there like, oh, but it's those things.
You have made this episode much more packed than I was hoping it is going to be. I thank you. And on behalf of those who are watching from home, or those of you who are watching while driving or listening to just the audio, we are thanking you for making this episode of the Stephen Ikebode Show. We are going to call you back again. See, and I'm going to use this video to appeal that when we do call you back, please say yes. There is nothing like you're going to say yes, or maybe you think about it. Please say yes. Because the difference and diversity that you have brought, or that you go on with, is also this part of the stories that people need to know.
Yes.
That not everybody has to go the usual way. There are other ways.
Hey, all the ways are usual ways. It just depends on who's looking at them.
Exactly. Other ways are usual ways. It just depends on who is looking at them. I told you she has too much to give. She will come back on to the Stephen Ikebode Show. Cynthia, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I think it has been a very relaxed afternoon, evening,
Yeah.
It's something different from what I usually do and all that. So it was really interesting that, and hopefully it inspires someone to, to think more not to think more. Let me not lie about thinking more, because I didn't think much when
Yes.
I didn't think much, but the thinking started, and I've said, if I had thought as much in the beginning, I could not have moved.
True.
So sometimes thinking can be You can think later.
Yes, while you live
Yes, but
your life.
yes, but it's also to be realistic in your thinking later. You know, things should. It's good to fight, but again, you shouldn't fight too much. It takes away so much from the other things you can do, and it blocks your vision because now when you've gotten in your fight, no one goes in a fight to lose. So now you move your focus to winning a fight that you shouldn't even have started to begin with. So it's also, fight gently when you fight, or fight responsibly so that you don't lose yourself in a fight that isn't yours. But thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks to you for sharing your lived experience with us. And I'm sure that many out there will find this story interesting, inspirational, and motivating. Until we see you again on the Steve with the People the show. Please, to you out there, we also thank you for giving us your time, for paying attention to the things that we do, and for being a part of this community. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Until we see you on the next episode, have a good one. Bye bye.